Hey, remember when I said I wasn't gonna do any more story times? I lied.
Somebody lied.
If you saw my last video, I made a point about not making my entire channel a storytime channel, and I meant that. But you guys actually seemed to enjoy that video and asked for more stories, so I'm gonna give a couple more. So with that being said, as Corey Kenshin would say, sit back, relax, grab some snacks, and enjoy the video. This story goes way back to when I was in kindergarten. I don't remember all the details because it happened so long ago, but from what I remember, it's still one of the craziest things to happen to me in my life. When I was like 5 or 6, I had this PE class. The teacher wanted us to do something before we started our game, and I don't remember what it was, but I must have done something wrong because the teacher decides to punish me. Punishment was me standing at the front of the gym in front of all the other kids while holding my arms out Jesus Christ style. I remember that being a punishment for doing something wrong because I guess when you're a kid, like simply doing this for a long time makes your arms hurt. While I was up there, my arms started to hurt and so I started to cry. But not just because of my arms, but also because I remember genuinely being sorry. I was a good kid. And as I try to tell the teacher that I'm sorry, he just mocks me. I'm sorry. Please let me stop. I don't remember how long that went on for, but it wasn't pleasant. Now, some of you guys might also be laughing. Some of you guys might be crying like I was. And even though what that coach did was very wrong, you don't need to feel bad for me. It was a long time ago, and I've moved on from it. Also, the coach died. No, I'm kidding. I actually have no idea where he is. The truth is, I've dealt with bullying for a lot of my younger years, and even though it sucked, I do feel like it genuinely helped build my character. That's not to say everyone needs to be horribly bullied in order to have good character, but I do think having a somewhat humiliating experience can make you more humble and just keep you down to earth. You shouldn't have to take yourself so seriously all the time. Sometimes you should be able to just laugh at yourself. And I feel like if you were perfect all the time, that would just cause anxiety because you would feel the pressure not to mess up. So I think where true confidence comes from is accepting your flaws and not trying to be perfect all the time.
How are you so confident? I don't know that I'm the most confident person in the world. I think, like anybody, I have my own insecurities. I have my own things that I'm working on. I mean, we're human, and it's okay not to be. So, how am I so confident? Is that sometimes I'm not, always, and that's okay.
Story number 2. This one's a bit shorter, but basically, I like this girl, and she said no. Story number 3. No, I'm kidding. Again, the actual story happened almost a year ago. One day I was on Instagram and I noticed this one girl DM'd me saying that she enjoyed my TikTok videos. I told her thanks, and when I clicked on her profile, I noticed she had a boyfriend and also lived near my area. Remember this for later. Fast forward a few weeks and I'm at work. If you don't know, for the past 2 years, I've worked at a gym as a little side job while I'm in college. During my shift, I was on the basketball court sweeping, but while I was sweeping, I hear someone behind me. Hey, are you famous on TikTok? I turn around and it's her, Instagram girl, and she seemed pretty happy to see me. But her boyfriend didn't. And she didn't help the situation either. She's like, yeah, I messaged you on Instagram. You're so funny. Now, if you had a girlfriend and you found out some random boy on the internet was messaging her and making her laugh, you feel kind of... She obviously wasn't trying to cheat, and I obviously wasn't trying to make a move. It's just the way she was saying it. It wasn't helping. It was not helping at all. So I end the conversation super quick. Like, okay, yeah, nice to meet you. Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Bye-bye. And I never saw him again. Until they came back. This time I was working at the front desk where we check people in to work out. My coworker went to go eat his lunch, so it was just me sitting at the desk. Keep in mind, the rule at my job is that at least one person has to be sitting at the desk at all times. What I didn't know was that Instagram girl and her boyfriend were already there, so while I was sitting at the desk, I just see Instagram girl walk out of the gym and walk towards the front desk. She sees me and just starts talking to me. I thought she was just gonna say hello, but we end up having a whole conversation. It turns out she's a pretty cool person. She tells me a lot about herself, like where she's from, where she goes to college, how her brother's an alcoholic, how she does real estate at 19.
It's free real estate.
And at that point, I thought the conversation would be finished, but then she just kind of keeps talking to me and starts asking me questions. And I didn't mind chatting with her. It's just I was afraid her boyfriend was gonna walk out and just get the wrong idea. Eventually, her boyfriend does walk over, and it's kind of awkward because he doesn't look at me. He just kind of rests his head on her head and looks off to the side. But I wanted to be friendly and at least say what's up, so I did. What's up? What's up, man? And he was really cool. I had nothing to worry about. He was a nice dude. But when I shook his hand, I squeezed kind of hard because I like to give firm handshakes. And I think he took that as a challenge because he squeezes back and just kind of looks at me in the eyes for a second. And then they left. What's funny is after all of this went down, my coworker finally comes back. And so I'm like, dude, where did you go? Well, I was actually gonna come back sooner, but then I saw you talking to that girl, so I let you have your moment. Story number 3. Now this story I actually think can be used as a good life lesson. When I was a high school junior, there was this girl who I became friends with who was a grade above me. And over the course of the year, we started to kind of like each other. But since she was a grade above me, I didn't try pursuing her because I knew she would be leaving for college soon. But over the summer, we still stayed friends and kept in contact. When the fall came, I saw her post a snap that she moved into college, so I swiped up like, hey, good luck. And she just left it on read. Now, this didn't really bother me because I knew she just moved in, and I just figured, you know, she could just be tired, you know? I ended up messaging her again later on that week like, hey. And she's like, what? And I'm like, how are you? Just wondering. And she leaves that on read.
I lost.
And at this point, I realized, I guess she just doesn't want to talk to me. Which is fine, she doesn't have to. I wasn't sure why, but I just moved on with my life. Fast forward to like November. I'm home one day after school, just chilling. And then out of nowhere, I get a text. And she just starts talking to me as if we didn't go 3 months without talking. But honestly, I didn't think too much of it. I was just happy to hear from her again. But as we're talking, I notice she's laughing at literally everything I'm saying. Like stuff that isn't even funny. And right as I notice this, she goes, hey, so, you got $5? $5?
Yeah, so I can eat. I used up all the money on my meal plan.
So to answer what most of you are wondering, no, I did not give her any money. Because I didn't have any. I didn't blow up at her or anything because honestly, I wasn't mad. I was just kind of sad. I was sad because even though we hadn't talked for months, I still considered her my friend. So when she messaged me again, I was excited because I thought she wanted to rekindle that friendship. But in reality, she was just pretending so that she could get something out of me. I just told her I couldn't give her any because it was true. I couldn't. Life went on and I never heard from her again. Until, long story short, I started working out, going to the gym a little bit. One morning I got out the shower and when I looked in the mirror, I noticed I had a bit more muscle than I remember. It was like that scene in the first Spider-Man for me. Granted, I was still pretty skinny, but I saw progress, so I posted a pic, okay? Yeah, sue me. But I forgot that I still had our little $5 friend added on Snapchat. She sees my photo and swipes up trying to talk to me. And you think I wouldn't fall for it this time, right? You would think I wouldn't reply. I replied. And I know it was a mistake, but to be fair, I was being dry and wasn't really super into the conversation. She takes note of this and asks why I'm being so dry, as if there isn't any reason why I wouldn't want to talk to her. And something about how she acted so oblivious annoyed me, so I decided to confront her. No, I'm just kidding. This isn't Attack on Titan. I pretty much told her what I'm telling you guys, and I explained how I felt like she tried to use me. And she actually took it pretty well. Yeah, no, she took it horribly. And she somehow managed to switch the conversation into me feeling like I was the one who needed to apologize. And it worked. I genuinely felt like a piece of garbage. I felt bad because I knew she had a rough childhood, and she also dealt with dudes who did her wrong, and so she convinced me that I was one of those guys, when I wasn't. The funny thing is, before that whole $5 incident, there were plenty of red flags that popped up, but I just ignored them. And I think the reason why is just I had no self-worth. I was so used to never having a girlfriend and just never being talked to by girls that when I finally started talking to one, it didn't matter how toxic she was. I was just happy to not be alone. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people in toxic relationships don't leave. They stay with their partner because they think that's the best they can do. They're so used to being lonely that they practically have no standards. So when they do find someone, even if it's literally Satan, they stay with it. It's like if you didn't eat food for a week. You'd be starving to eat anything, even if it's trash. But if you're watching this and you are starving for a relationship, don't settle for the trash. You have the right to be with someone who will treat you right. For some people, they think that's a privilege. That's just the bare minimum. Of course, I know not everyone can do that. The toxic person may be someone that's hard to get away from, like someone who's a family member or someone you're financially dependent on. All I'm saying is, if you can leave, just do it. I hope you guys enjoyed these stories. This was a very long video, but I do it for y'all, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see y'all.
Don't give it to me easy. I like a little challenge.